Hey everybody, this is Dan for GemmyD on Cars. Now I am inside a 2019 BMW 330i. I borrowed this from Sun Motors BMW, who thank you very much for hooking me up with another car. Now this is an all-new car for 2019 and I'm so excited to see how it drives because I want to see if this car can get the 3 Series back to the sort of mantle that it used to be. The previous generation wasn't the greatest, still a great car, but not the greatest as far as driving with the sort of electric steering, but we're going to see how this car does. Now, we've got a 2-liter turbo 4-cylinder engine with 255 horsepower and 269 foot-pounds of torque. Now, this is the base model BMW 3 Series. That is the only car available in North America right now. They're going to be coming out with an M340, which is going to have 382 horsepower, which is just unbelievable. 130 more horsepower than this. Now, this car will go 0 to 60 in 5.6 seconds, which is still not bad. So we're going to take this thing out for a drive, so here we go. I'm going to push the button right there. Alright, there's 3 drive modes. There's Eco, Pro, Comfort, and Sport, and we're going to try all those out. So here we go. So we have a ZF 8-speed automatic transmission. It is the only transmission available for this car. There's no manual option, so we're gonna have to deal with that. So if I was in the market for this car, this would be the exact car that I would get. I mean, 2-liter turbo, enough performance to satisfy my needs, but man, this car, there's eventually gonna be an M3 and an M4 version, obviously, so the performance is coming, okay? Now we've got this normal safety features, auto lane keep assist, blind spot monitoring, and we've also got the auto hold right here, which when I drove a Toyota RAV4 right there, they had this feature too. It just lets you hit the button and you can take your foot off the brake if you would like to. So there's a green light, so I'm not going to get a chance to use it. Now I went into Eco Pro. Now the right gauge goes to miles per gallon, because if you're in the Eco setting, you're obviously going to want to get good gas mileage. On the left, you've got your speedometer, but yeah, that's just sort of a nice feature, because if you are in Eco mode, you're going to want to get good gas mileage. Okay, so if I go to Comfort, the gauge is stored back to normal, which is sort of like your everyday driving mode. And once we get on the twisty roads back there, we are definitely going to try the Sport mode. One thing I noticed right away is this car is, maybe just because I'm used to my Mazda, but this car is quiet, okay? And my dad would love this for me saying this, but it feels very, very nice. Now there isn't much of an engine sound, which is fine because this is, you know, the base model, but I don't hear much, and it's nice, okay? Now one other thing that I'm concerned about is when I go through the handling and the twisties up here, I want to see how the engine sounds, because this car supposedly has pumps engine noise into the cabin, which is a BMW thing they've done over the past few years, and I just want to see if it's sort of like obtrusive or not. Okay, so we're gonna go into Sport mode. It handles nice. It feels, you can feel like the steering is a little bit heavier when you go into Sport mode, which I think is nice. It definitely feels a little sportier. This is not going to be the ultimate handling car. Soaks up the bumps pretty well. That was a nice bump back there, so pretty good. Alright, so we are coming up to my favorite straight up here, so we're going to stop a little bit and give it some gas. Now, I am in Sport mode. I'm just trying to get a little room right here. Okay, coast is clear. Okay, here we go. Wow. Whoa. Wow. Holy crap. That's fast. Wow, you could sort of feel like above like 2,500, 3,000 RPMs that it sort of took off. Maybe that's sort of when the turbo kicked in. But wow. That was quick. I'm impressed. Let's try a nice little pull right here. Yeah, that sounds good. And when I just let off the throttle, it sort of held onto the gear, I think because I was in Sport mode. Wow. That is impressive. 255 horsepower. Wow. Yeah, that'll work. It's nice that the steering definitely feels heavier when you go into sport mode, which is nice. Which when you're not in sport mode, it just feels a little lighter. All right, here we go. Now, as far as the noise, it's a nice sound. I mean, it's a 4-cylinder, so it's not going to be a rumbly anything, but it sounds good, and I don't feel like it feels like a synthetic sound, which is a credit to that. It doesn't sound bad. Let's see if you can hear it. Wow. That feels like a fun little tossable car, which that is what this car should feel like, okay? Alright, so I pulled over quick just so I can hold the camera now. So when I go into Eco Pro mode, the gauges turn blue, and this one turns into a miles per gallon reader. So if I go into sport mode, everything is red. So we're gonna do a nice little pull up here. So this car is, I'm impressed by the speed from a quote-unquote base engine. So, all right, I'm in sport mode. So are you ready? Let's get past this. Okay, you ready? Here we go. Wow, man, that seriously pulls. I mean, that is awesome. The torque feels nice. Wow. And I keep talking about the steering, but it just feels so much heavier. Wow. Man, this is nice. I will stop saying that. It feels very composed and sort of like you can't get it unsettled. Man. All right, I think I am sold that this car is going to be a hit. If you're getting that type of performance out of a 2-liter turbo 4-cylinder, and you've got cars on the way that are going to have 130 and 200 plus horsepower more than this car, man, that's a winner. So I'm back here at a stoplight. I've gone back into comfort mode, which tells me I've got balance setting, and we'll just see how this feels as a normal everyday driver. Yeah, the steering feels so much lighter. It's amazing how much heavier the steering feels when you're in sport mode, which is fine because a nice heavy weighted steering, it doesn't feel too heavy like you're lumbering to sort of move the wheel around, but it just feels so much lighter and nimble in comfort mode, which is nice. It sort of tells you that they sort of designed the sportier mode to be able to handle the more, typically feeling sportier steering. Now let's see how the car sounds when you're in comfort mode too. Yeah, it sounds just as good. Sport mode probably sounds a little bit better. But yeah, this is quite the car for a quote-unquote base car. Alright, just so we can get a feel of how this car looks while it's handling well. I am in sport mode, and it handles it very well. I mean, it feels completely composed, and I'm obviously not getting on it like crazy. One thing I do find annoying is when you sort of go over the line just a little bit, the steering wheel buzzes at you like right there, and I'm not crazy about that, and I can't figure out how to turn it off. But still, this is a very nice car to drive. I knew it would be nice, and my expectations have been met, so I am impressed with this car. That bus is going to hit me. So just trying out the paddle shifters real quick. They feel absolutely so lightning quick, okay? Boom. Yeah, that is a awesome ZF 8-speed transmission. I mean, this is like the industry standard. BMW has been using it for years right now, and that is nice. Okay, so the GEM score for the 2019 BMW 330i. For sound, I gave it a 6. It's sort of not bad, but it's still just a 4-cylinder. Styling, I gave it a 7. I can't wait to see what the M3 looks like. That would probably get bumped up to an 8, but I'll stick with 7. Performance, I gave it a 6. I mean, it felt very fast, and that's not a bad score. So that's a 6 for performance. Price, I'll give it a 6. I mean, this car is about $50,000, which is not that cheap, but in the grand scheme, it's around what the other competitors are like too. Comfort, I gave it an 8. It's very comfortable, nice interior. Interior, I also gave it an 8. I love BMW's new design layout, and I think it will age well, so I think 8 is deserving. Fun factor, I gave it an 8. I really love this car in sport mode. It was a blast to drive. I hope I get to sample the M340 or M3 sometime, and maybe even like a Mercedes C-Class or an Audi A4 or a Alfa Romeo Giulia. So the total GEM score for the 2019 BMW 330 is 49 out of 70.